Defense Secretary is blaming Iraq's army for losing a key city in Anbar province to ISIL. Secretary Ash Carter's comments about Ramadi are the first by a top-ranking member of the Obama administration since the city fell to Sunni militants last week. CCTV's Roee Ruttenberg is following this story in a political clash over how to react, and certainly very strong words, Roee.
Absolutely, and we've already heard back from the Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi saying that he believes Carter was fed, quote, wrong information. Now, the Obama administration has been coming under fire over its Iraq strategy. One Republican senator calls it mind-boggling. So Obama's defense secretary appeared to be lashing back, putting the blame, or at least some of it, on Iraqi troops. The road to Ramadi. Iraqi troops backed by Shiite militias heading west, hoping, they say, to recapture the provincial capital. It fell to ISIL forces last week. They are welcomed in the nearby town of Khaldia. It's predominantly Sunni. A local tribesman says they'll never surrender.
God willing, we will never leave this district, even though we've been subjected to pressure and attacks from the ISIL criminals. After the collapse of the military forces, we have remained steadfast, and we will never allow ISIL to enter.
A stark contrast to the city of Ramadi, where an estimated 200 ISIL fighters drove out 2,000 Iraqi troops. Thousands have fled the city of nearly 500,000 people. On Sunday, the U.S. Defense Secretary criticized the Iraqi forces, saying Ramadi showed they lacked the will to fight.
They're the ones who have to beat ISIL and then keep them beaten. We can participate in the defeat of ISIL, but we can't make Iraq run as a decent place for people to live. We can't sustain the victory. Only the Iraqis can do that, and in particular, in this case, the Sunni tribes to the west.
Washington's suggestions that the Sunni tribes be armed have been rejected by Iraq's Shia-led government, which insists all control must remain centralized through Baghdad. This amid fears that many Sunnis, once loyal to former Iraqi leader Saddam Hussein, might defect to ISIL and take the weapons with them. On Sunday, U.S. Republican lawmakers criticized the Obama administration's strategy and warned of the growing role played by Iran, the Middle East's dominant Shia nation.
Right now, it's Shia militia, the same ones that we fought against during the surge, that are now doing the fighting. The overall winner in this whole conflict right now is not ISIS, it's Iran. It's Iran who is controlling 4 countries now and on the move.
McCain and other senior Republicans say the U.S. needs to do more than just strike ISIL from above. It needs to send thousands of American troops in non-combat roles back to Iraq. Now, on Sunday, al-Abadi said he was surprised by the U.S. Defense Secretary Ash Carter's comments. Now, some of this is political maneuvering ahead of the election season. Some of it is just a simple and clear disagreement on U.S. policy. Many U.S. lawmakers were keen, of course, to get American troops out of Iraq, so sending them back in. Tough talk, Susan, obviously, but also a tough sell.
That's right. And we should point out it's not just the U.S. involved in those airstrikes. The Gulf countries are also taking part. They feel it's working, but we've been striking that area around, the U.S. had been striking the area around Anbar province, as you know, and they still took over Ramadi.
That's right. And on Sunday, the foreign ministers from the Gulf Cooperation Council countries were meeting in Qatar, I should point out, with the European Union representatives to discuss those recent advances by ISIL. The Qatari foreign minister, Khalid al-Attiyah, said that the air campaign was not failing, but that the military action alone from any of these countries was not enough. He said more needs to be done to promote reconciliation in Iraq and also in Syria between the different ethnic groups. Promoting dialogue, he said, is just as important as fighting ISIL. And remember, earlier this month, President Barack Obama hosted GCC leaders right here in Washington, trying to reassure them both that the U.S. won't give up in its fight against ISIL and that it won't strike a deal with Iran that may harm GCC interests.
Well,